Pride and vanity. The 10th directive is that no one should walk with pride and vanity on God's earth. It is thus said that howsoever much a person may strike the earth with his feet, he will not be able to rend it asunder, and howsoever much a person may walk while raising his head, he will not be able to reach the heights of the mountains. Imam Amin Yasir Islahi writes, what is implied is that what is the meaning of showing pride and vanity in the earth made by God, the God whose glory and grandeur one witnesses in the vast expanse of the earth that he has spread out, on which one's status is not even that of an ant or an insect, and the God who has created these towering mountains, before which one's status is not even that of a squirrel. One should try to recognize one's status and always surrender oneself before the majesty and splendor of God. Amin Yasir Islahi, Volume 4, page 502. Such a gait obviously reflects one's inner self. Wealth, authority, beauty, knowledge, power, and other similar things produce pride and vanity in a person. Each of these produces a specific type of pride in one's gait, showing that his heart is devoid of the perception of serving God, and there is no concept in it of God's glory and greatness. The heart which has a perception of serving God and of His greatness only beats in the chests of people who have humility. Instead of walking arrogantly, they walk with their heads bent. Thus, walking with pride and vanity is a very bad trait, and its punishment is very grave too. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is reported to have said that the person who has pride even to the measure of a mustard seed will not enter paradise. He is also reported to have said that honor is the lower fabric of the Almighty, and greatness is His upper fabric. He who competes with God regarding these will be punished. Here it should remain clear that pride and vanity are not merely reflected in one's gait. They are evident in one's conversation, clothes, appearance, and behavior as well. Consequently, the Quran says, وَلَا تُصَعِّرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ مُخْتَالٍ فَخُورٍ وَاقْصُدْ فِي مَشِّكَ وَغْضُضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ إِنَّ أَنْكَرَ الْأَصْوَاتِ لَصَوْتُ الْحَمِيرِ. And do not become indifferent to people, nor walk proudly on the earth. God does not like the arrogant and the one who expresses vanity. And be modest in your gait, and keep your voice low. Indeed, the most hideous of voices is the braying of the ass. Surah number 31, verses 18 and 19. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, on this very basis, has prohibited the use of all things which reflect affluence, or are a means of show and pomposity, or are instrumental in overawing others, or belong to the mannerisms of rogues and ruffians. For this very reason, he forbade the use of silk, making covers from expensive hides, and eating in utensils made of gold and silver. So much so, he even urged people having short beards and large mustaches to give up this arrogant appearance, and said that one should satisfy one's passion by increasing the length of the beard, but mustaches should remain trim in all circumstances. He is also reported to have said, he who wore a dress to show his status, the Almighty will clothe him with the dress of humiliation on the day of judgment, and then fire shall be ignited in it. He is similarly reported to have said, on the day of judgment, God will not wish to see a person who walks conceitedly by dragging his leg wear. Moreover, this mental state becomes the source of great sins. Consequently, it is this conceit and arrogance which is instrumental in deliberately denying the truth, in considering oneself superior to others on the basis of color, creed, and race, in considering others to be inferior and making fun of them, in censuring them, in calling them with bad names, and in scandalizing the faults of others in their absence. God has strictly forbidden all these. Evading the truth. Those who evade the truth and reject it in arrogance are warned that they must not consider their sin to be trivial. Their punishment is that the doors of paradise are closed for them. Hell shall be their abode from all sides, and they shall abide in it forever. The Quran says, إن الذين كذبوا بآياتنا واستكبروا عنها لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء ولا يدخلون الجنة حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط وكذلك نجزي المجرمين لهم من جهنم مهاد ومن فوقهم غواش وكذلك نجزي الظالمين. Indeed, those who denied our revelations and evaded them in arrogance, the gates of heavens shall not be opened for them, and neither they shall be able to enter paradise except if a camel is able to pass through the eye of a needle. This is their punishment, and in this manner do we punish the criminals. Hell shall be their bedding, and the flames of hell shall be their covering, and in this way do we punish the evildoers. Conceit on one's lineage. People who show conceit and vanity on their lineage and ancestry are cautioned that all human beings are the progeny of Adam and Eve. Whites are not superior to blacks, nor blacks superior to whites, and similarly, Arabs are not superior to non-Arabs, and non-Arabs are not superior to Arabs. In the sight of God, the status and nobility of a person is not founded on the basis of his family, clan, color, or creed. It is founded on the basis of his consciousness towards God. Only that person will be respected in God's presence who is the most God-fearing and lives within the limits specified by him, even if he belongs to a low and unknown family. And he who is arrogant and conceited shall definitely be humiliated, even though he belongs to a family of high status and pedigree. This division of mankind in families is merely to give people identity, just as God has distinguished people from one another on the basis of features, color, and stature, so that they can identify and recognize one another. Similarly, dividing them into families and clans is meant to serve this very purpose. It has no significance beyond this. The Quran says, Ya ayyuhan nas inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila lita'arafu inna akramakum indallahi atqakum inna Allaha alimun khabir. You people, we have created you from one man and from one woman and divided you into tribes and clans that you might get to know one another. The noblest of you in God's sight is he who is the most God-conscious. Indeed, God is all-knowing and wise. Surah number 49, verse 13. Making fun of others. People who make fun of others are told that in the sight of God, a person is respectable or disreputable on the basis of his faith and deeds, and their true weight too shall be indicated by the Almighty's balance and justice. A person who considers himself to be noble in this world may end up in humiliation on the day of judgment, and a person who is considered lowly may be rewarded greatly in paradise. Hence, every Muslim must remain aware that according to the Quran, once he has entered the folds of faith, he has entered the universal brotherhood of Muslims, in which every Muslim is a brother to another. It is not befitting for him at all to make fun of others, ridicule and censure them, while thinking them to be inferior to him. The Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la yaskhar qawmun min qawmin asa an yakunu khayran minhum wala nisa'un min nisa'in asa an yakunna khayran minhunna. Believers, let no man make fun of another man who may perhaps be better than himself, and let no woman make fun of another woman who may perhaps be better than herself. Surah number 49, verse 11.